Top 10 serial killers. There is much academic debate about the definition of a serial killer, but generally speaking, it's someone who has killed 3 or more people over a period of time with cooling off periods in between each act. So in this video, we will discuss the top 10 serial killers of all time. But before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Number 10. Jeffrey Dahmer. The Milwaukee Cannibal, Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer, also was known as the Milwaukee Cannibal, was an American serial killer active between 1978 and 1991. He is known to have raped, murdered, and dismembered 17 men and boys. Dahmer killed his first victim in the summer of 1978 when he was just 18 years old. He was arrested on July 22, 1991. On the morning of November 28, 1994, he was beaten to death with a metal bar by a fellow inmate who was serving a life sentence. Number 9. Harold Frederick Shipman, Dr. Death. Harold Frederick Shipman was a British practitioner worthy of the title Dr. Death. He was found guilty of murdering over 218 of his patients, although the count could be as high as 250. He is also the only British doctor to have been found guilty of murdering his patients. He was also known as the Angel of Death. He was arrested, prosecuted, and convicted, and on January 13, 2004, he hung himself in his prison cell. Number 8. Ted Bundy. Theodore Robert Bundy was an American serial killer, rapist, and burglar who assaulted and murdered over 30 young women. Ted Bundy's killing spree started around 1974. He used his charm to exploit women into trusting him. He would take them to a secluded spot, overpower, and kill them. He fought for years to avoid the death sentence. However, he could not escape justice forever, and on January 24, 1989, he was executed. Number 7. The Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer was active in Northern California during the late 1960s. He is known to have killed at least 5 people, but this number is almost certainly higher. Investigators believe the still unknown perpetrator could have had as many as 37 victims. The Zodiac Killer's first attack took place on December 20. The name Zodiac originated from the killer's bizarre practice of sending ciphers and encrypted messages to the police and media. The police were able to generate a sketch of the Zodiac Killer from eyewitnesses, but he was never caught. Number 6. Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield. Edward Theodore Gein was a murderer and body snatcher, who was also known as the Butcher of Plainfield. He confessed to killing Mary Hogan in 1954 and Bernice Worden in 1957. It was also found that he had exhumed corpses from local graveyards to make artifacts from the bones and skin. He was found to be mentally unstable and sent to a mental asylum, where he died of cancer on July 26, 1984. Number 5. John Wayne Gacy, Pogo the Clown. John Wayne Gacy was an American serial killer and rapist who murdered at least 33 teenage boys and young men between 1972 and 1978 in Cook County, Illinois. By day, he was a clown performer at children's parties. On May 10, 1968, Gacy was charged with sexual assault and arrested. Police then found that he had buried a total of 27 bodies under his house. He was found guilty and sentenced to death by lethal injection on May 10, 1994. Number 4. Tsutomu Miyazaki, human Dracula. Tsutomu Miyazaki was born prematurely, which left him with deformed hands. His mind became so warped that he began abducting and murdering young girls between 1988 and 1989. He was known as the Little Girl Murderer, Dracula. Miyazaki was finally apprehended while trying to molest a girl in a park. Even after his capture, he appeared calm and collected. Miyazaki was executed by hanging on June 17, 2008. Number 3. Ahmad Suradji, the Sorcerer. Ahmad Suradji was an Indonesian serial killer who was known as the Sorcerer. He is said to have murdered 42 people between 1986 to 1997. The most disturbing aspect was his motive and method of killing his victims. During a dream, he claimed his late father had informed him that drinking the saliva of 70 dead young women would turn him into a mystic healer. Since it would take too long to find 70 women who died young, he started murdering young girls. He was sentenced to death by firing squad on July 10, 2008. Number 2. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Richard Ramirez was an American serial killer, rapist, and burglar who was born in Texas in 1960. He became a heavy drug user and developed an interest in Satanism. Known as the Night Stalker, Ramirez was active between 1984 to 1985. Ramirez killed a total of 14 people and tortured dozens more before being captured in 1985. His killing spree of brutal murders, rape, and robberies lasted a total of 14 months. Number 1. Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper is by far the most infamous serial killer of all time. There are many serial killers who have a higher count of victims than him, but what makes him unique is the fact that very little is known about him. Jack the Ripper was a proficient and strategic serial killer who managed to mask his identity even from the famous Scotland Yard police force. Thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos like this, make sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.